It's been one of those days. Unexpected blessing today, but unexpected. So it was kind of hard to plan about anything. You can tell it's getting darker or a little bit lighter or darker a little bit earlier every day. So anyway, I went today unexpectedly. Like I said, I'm actually there's a contest on Facebook from Rent to Own. Not that I'm renting to own anything. I just follow them because they give giveaways, and I won tickets to some to the fair, which I gave to somebody else. They were also given a little cash with it, which I kept the cash, which came in very helpful. Those milk and eats are dog food, so anyway, it was very helpful to have. But when I went to the store for to the place we went to Mount Vernon, and of course now it's like the minute I go any place, it's like I got to look around for any kind of really cool stores, right? You know, craft stores or fabric stores. And so I looked around and I found this place called Beehive Quiltery. I thought, well, let's check it out. You know, let's just see. Well, let me just tell you, the place was not huge by fabric standards. When you look at some place like Country Fabrics, which had a lot, but it certainly had it in personality, and it had beautiful fabric. They're just trying to grow their stuff. She's Sammy, who was the lady there, couldn't have been nicer. I would highly recommend going. The fabric there was just beautiful, and I think they're going to grow their selection, of course, but they're interested in possibly thinking about doing some kind of King of Saga or what have you. But the fabric was beautiful. The atmosphere was beautiful. They had a restaurant upstairs that they said was very good that we'll have to check out one time. The fabric, I would absolutely go back again. And also, she was very interested in my idea about putting King of Saga projects together and having them come from High Sandy local stores within the area. She thought that was beyond thrilled. It was just you just felt you were walking into kind of a different time and place. Beautiful, beautiful store. Fabric was gorgeous. Um, and so I did pick up some fabric. You know, what I mean, just had to pick up some fabric, but again, they couldn't be nicer. As far as the size of the fabric, um, Country Fabric says more, which is fine, but they are just this quaint little fabric store in the middle of kind of just this very small town with a restaurant that's the eighth oldest restaurant in the state of Ohio. So we'll have to go back. She said the chicken Alfredo, which I can't really have, was out of this world, but Josh could have it. And in our juice, we have spinach, my spinach mix from the platter at Sam's Club, watermelon, pineapple, and carrot in here, and a little bit. I think did I put pear in mine? I put pear. I may have put pear on this point, but that's my juice starting. So anyway, highly would go back. The lady was wonderful. The atmosphere was wonderful. They do retreats. She said we're looking for people like what you do. Come in and show our people there. I mean, beautiful fabric. I mean, I just could have bought, yeah, you know, a lot of it. One thing that I really liked that was unique was they had something there, and it was called I can't remember what it's called, but it was hand dyed fabric, which is something I haven't seen from the other stores. And that's something about going to these different kind of fabric stores is you're finding fabric like that hand dyed fabric that is unique to that store. And it was absolutely beautiful. And she said it really didn't matter which side you chose because whatever side you chose is it didn't matter. Didn't matter which side you chose. So they had some unique stuff that I haven't seen anyplace else, and that's one of the reasons I love going. It was a delightful store. Absolutely loved it. It was just so it couldn't be more cute. It's called Beehive Quiltery. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. If you've gone to the Mount Vernon area, this is them. I'm gonna give them a shout out. Absolutely delightful store. Love it. You're just gonna find it so quaint, and the service was wonderful. And I'm excited to go back again, tremendously. So, um, this is of course what we had and what I'm going to work on for the I can't think what it is. I'm tired, guys. For the um for the pumpkin. I'm gonna get it right in a minute, right? And I had found this in my stash. However, I don't know if I'm going to use that. And I don't quite know what yet. But let me just show you my idea as I was there looking at the fabric, oohing and on and all of them, right? I found this there and I absolutely loved it. They had a whole section of hand dyed fabrics, which I haven't seen anyplace else. So I would go back there just for their section of hand dyed fabrics. And I think she called it like low. I learned some technique stuff, low something or other. I can low grade something where she was talking about, when it was like not too busy. I would just go back for that, just for this whole section of hand dyed fabric, which just was just beautiful. And I thought this kind of looked like fall leaves. And I have not seen this anyplace else. That's why going to these different fabric stores, when I went to Country Fabrics, I saw different things. When I went to Blooming Grove, I saw different things. When I've now gone to this store, I've seen different things. So by going to the different stores, you're seeing different kind of textures and all that kind of stuff. It was absolutely delightful store. But this kind of looked, and even she agreed with me, almost like fall leaves. I thought it was so beautiful. And so I thought maybe this would go with this. I think this would go very pretty with this. And then they had this one in the same little section of fabric. And it's kind of a lighter. It's kind of what I wanted to look for like this, but I think it goes better than this. Kind of the lighter version of this. You know what I mean? So when we do our pumpkin, I think this would look very good to kind of um, possibly put in. If I took this and kind of put this in, this on the out, or maybe like this maybe on the outside of the pumpkin with this, right? So you'd have the sparkle part, okay? And then maybe be able to put this here and then kind of make this as the middle one and have that later part or something. I don't know. I don't know yet, but I really like this, or get not have this in at all and maybe do something like this. I don't know. I don't know yet. We're gonna play around with it and see, but I really kind of like um I think this will look very pretty, kind of like this, and then have this, which is the lighter color of this, and then go and have this kind of be sandwiched in a little bit. I don't know yet, but I even just like doing this, you know. I didn't think I'd like that, but I mean, I grabbed this because I wasn't quite sure. I even just for this kind of like this in itself, because you've got this as the breaking point. I don't know. I really don't know yet. Now I'm going to have to think I'm going to have to put it together for sure. That's going to have to be it. But I'm not crazy, totally crazy about that. I think if I was going to do it, it would kind of be maybe even like this looks good and have this be the middle part. I don't know. I don't know. I don't quite know yet how I'm going to do it or how it's going to work yet. I don't know. But anyway, I did grab it. I think this looks like, and I think that honestly, you could possibly do this with kind of, just like this. And I don't know if we put this kind of being like a burlap, that may be a nice little settle between the two. I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to play around with it when I get it, of course. Um, I don't think I like these two together. I I'm not crazy about this. I think that this actually goes better kind of like this, you know. And it may be where, even though we've got a little sparkle, this is really hard to see. It may need a little bit of white. I don't know. It may need a little bit of white, like something like that in between to kind of brighten it up. Even though this is not terribly white, it is white. It may need something like that, even though we've got this. It may just need something like that to kind of break it up in between the kind of the sections, I guess I should say. I even kind of like this because it does kind of help to kind of, if you had something like this and then you had this, even if it was a little sparkle, it'd be fine, right? And then you could do this, or we could do, it'd be a lot of sparkle though, but still, you could do something like this, but I think that would just be overkill with the sparkle. I don't know yet. I don't know. I haven't been able to find the right orange. I was hoping this was going to be it, but I don't think this is going to be it. I love this. Problem is that I don't like, I like these two together because they kind of go with this, right? It kind of goes with this whole thing, but I don't know if I totally like that with this. That's the problem. It's just not the right orange for it. I like this together, but I don't know yet. We're going to have to play around with it, but I did get this um, just because, and I still may be on the hunt for the right orange still, but I'm also running out of time to find the right orange. So, and I don't know if this would make it too dark to just eliminate this and just kind of have this and this with this just around the pumpkin. I don't know. With this being the bow. I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to play around with it. We'll figure it out. But anyway, I just really thought this was really pretty. I thought it looked like a fall leaf tremendously. And I really like this and I really want to use it. So I don't want to get rid of that. And I wonder, that may work too. To go ahead and just use this as the variance and then do this as maybe the bow. That may work. That may be really cute to do this as a bow. So we'll play around with it. Again, I got it because I thought this looked tremendously like fall leaves. So I got that and I got 1/4 yard of that. But again, delightful store. I will be certainly going back for sure. I also got this just because it was roses. I love the rose. Um, Absolutely loved it. And I may just bring the quilt down, go down to the store when I go down, bring the quilt piece down, put that there. And then probably will be going back before September with more soak caddies. We may end up doing that because I just haven't found the right combination. I'm on the thing. I haven't found it yet. So maybe I would find it at that store, which I would like to bring a piece down with actually their fabric shown on it. So we may hold off on the pumpkin, at least take the quilt square down, which I think I can get accomplished before that because I'm just not finding it. But I love this. I thought this was very pretty. And I have not seen this one either, and I loved it. They had several ones, but I thought this really lent itself to King of Saga. It's stained glass fabric, and I have not seen this anyplace else. I haven't seen it in Country Fabrics or Blooming Fabrics. I thought this was so pretty and unusual. It was just so pretty. So again, that's one of the reasons going to these different stores. Yes. Uh, different stores, you're picking up different things as you're going along. So big shout outs to Bee Grove Fabric. I just don't think I think that's what we're gonna do. I'll do the quilt, take it down there, get it in their store. I guarantee you I will bring more soap caddies down by September. Um, And I will maybe find some fabric down at that store for that. And then at least when I drop off the pumpkin, and maybe that at that time I could drop off the horse and buggy in September, it'll have fabric from that store. That's what we're gonna do. On top of the fact that Christina called today and wants us to come tomorrow morning, which I'm fine with, to be able to, she babysits and she wants us to watch the little boy as she and her husband go off to Bible study, which I'm fine with. And then afterwards, we're supposed to go someplace else. So I have to be up early and I just don't think I'm going to have enough time. And I have either I'm going to do, I practiced a little bit before I went live. That's why I was a few minutes late. Either it's going to be, um, I think it's Nothing But the Blood. Is that the one I thought it was? Nothing But the Blood. I can't remember. Um, of Jesus, or it's going to be uh, Jesus Loves Me. And I'm kind of thinking I want to play Jesus Loves Me only because I think my grandson will be in the audience. Not that he'll remember it, but I thought I maybe think that's the first one I want him to hear. You know, even though he's not going to remember, it's going to be the first one his ears will hear of me playing the flute. So I'm still debating, but it's one of those two, but they won't be that hard to accomplish. So anyway, but we went down there. It was a wonderful find, and I'm starting to like when we go someplace, just look around if it's outside of our area and say, okay, what stores? Because Serendipity, we weren't able to go to because Serendipity was closed, and we didn't realize it. So we'll have to go back to that one again um, on a day when they're open because I want to go check that one out. But Sammy was her name. She was like, I love that idea. And I said, well, I wonder if I just think I'm crazy to do it. She goes, I don't think so at all. She said, that's an awesome idea. She said, because she said, what a great idea to be able to get, local fabric stores, fabric places in the area to be able to have that. She goes, I think that's a great idea. I said, well, I think it would lift up the fabric store and then to be able to like come in and I said, I can tell you it won't be a high production kind of video, but it would just be something showing off the store and so forth, putting it together, showing the outside, showing the town a little bit maybe, and where where it's coming from. And then when they get the kit, they could go the QR code and go to that specific video that would take them to see where their fabric was sourced from. She goes, she was her, just she goes, oh, I'm so excited. She said, I'm getting goosebumps. So I'm like, it was really cool. And then we won tickets to the local fair in Mount Vernon, which I was very grateful to win. However, my back is better, but it was really painful last night when I got up and I thought, I'm exhausted because I didn't sleep the greatest last night because of it. And there was this girl that came in with her grandmother to the shop, and they may actually, she said, I'm going to think about, and she gave me another soap company in Mount Vernon to go check out for the soap caddies. And she said to me, she goes, um, this little girl, I'm sorry guys, I'm tired. And so this little girl, she was a young lady, and I said just as I was leaving, I said, does anybody here want tickets to the fair? Because I told the people when we won, I said, I can't guarantee you my husband and I are going to go because I said, I said, my husband can't, that 2 month little coughing spit he had really affected a lot of things. And he's just trying to get back to walking and moving and all that kind of stuff, but he can't walk for long distances. And I said, my back has just acted up over the past 48 hours. Hi, Saz. Welcome on in. Hopefully, I said that right. Right. Welcome on in. We're doing Kina Saga and just talking and chat. If you want to come in and drop hashtag blessed, people can connect with your channel if you would like to do that. We're here to connect. So, anyway, she was a sweet little girl. she was, she was a, older teen. And she just, I said, anybody interested in the tickets? And this girl about jumped up inside out, and turned around and stuff. She goes, oh, I love that. And she looked at her grandmother. She said, do you think you can take me and I could go with my friend and we can hang out for the day at the fair? And and then she said, do you think you can give me just a little money for it for the fair? And her grandmother said, yes, I think I could do that. So I went in the car. I had some soap caddies in the car. And I gave her this young lady a soap caddy, and I said, now give this to your grandmother and tell her what an amazing grandmother she is. From one grandma to the other. So anyway, I was thrilled. I told the people that gave me the tickets, I may not use them, but I said I will find the right person to give them to that will just love to go. And so she said she was just thrilled. She was happy to go. And I said, oh, please take them. And so she took the soap cat or no, so I gave her and her grandmother a soap caddy, but she took the tickets and she's going to go with one of her friends. And I was like, you're the right person because the fair's till tomorrow. And I just, I knew Josh wouldn't be able to walk that distance. And thought, I'm just not, I shouldn't probably be doing it too with my back right now, the way it acted up. And I thought, we're just not doing this. So it worked out just fine. I blessed somebody and I got good vibes or good response back to kind of my idea about doing for the local thing. And with the people with the rent to own, I brought my soap caddies and I said, now they're gonna do 5 giveaways tomorrow. And I said, here's 5 soap caddies. And I said, I want you to give them to the people you're going to be giving away prizes tomorrow. So get some free, advertising for that. So they were happy to do that. They were very thankful for the donation. They had never seen anything like our soap caddies. Well, I'd have loved to have been able to go to the fair. The purpose of it was they gave you a little bit of money to go to the fair, which, became really helpful to us because Mocha needed her dog food right now, and it's the end of the month. And but Josh is just kind of recovering from that whole coughing fit he had. And I thought, I don't want to go to the fair. you know, I wasn't up to it. And I thought, I'll find somebody. I did reach out to a friend to see if they wanted them and they didn't want them. So I thought, I'll find somebody. So what Josh and I were going to do after we went to the not serendipity, the Beehive's quilt store was we were going to go by the fair and I was just going to find somebody that was going to pay for tickets to go in and say, here you go. But this young lady was there and I just, I said, do you want the tickets? And she goes, oh, please, please. And she just said, oh, that's so much fun. And so she was just over the moon. And I thought, Lord, direct me to the person that's supposed to have these because it's not us right now. In the interim, Christina's calling me saying, Mom, I need your help tomorrow. Can you come? So I'm fine with that. So, but Josh isn't going, but we'll go. My mom and I'll go. We'll watch that little boy. And then she wants to come back from the Bible study and go someplace, some kind of, I don't know, spillway or something afterwards. So we'll go to that, then we'll come home. So I hope to be able to do that. So I thought, well, I'm not finding the crate combination for the orange yet. It's not as easy as I thought. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll wait on the pumpkin. We'll go down, take this quilt King of Saga project down, drop that off, and then I know I'll be going before fall starts, and I'll take the other one down. That's the way we're gonna do it. And then by then, maybe I'll get the buggy done, and that will be really cool to have both of those in the store. And then if the quilt one goes, I can do another quilt one and take it down. So I think that's what we're going to do. And I don't feel so rushed as I'm trying to get these soap caddies finished so I can take them down next week. So anyway, that is what we're going to do. So tomorrow or Sunday, I do not know which one because I do not know which one it's going to be because I know if I have to get my happy tail end up at a certain time tomorrow, which is like 7:30, I'm going to need to come home. I don't know. We'll see what shape Mary's in tomorrow after we get done. So we will see what shape I'm in. So if I have it in me, I will come live. If I don't, I'm not going to. So that's kind of my dealio tomorrow. But I wanted to get this done, so I thought we're coming live tonight for this. I'm gonna give this to Mama. No. I just knew that I was like, I want to bless somebody else that wants the tickets because it wasn't that I wasn't appreciative of the tickets. I was, but I just knew that, and they were fine with it. They like just find if you don't go, find somebody else that could be, go have fun. And I'm like, I will make sure that I do that. And that was my goal, was trying to find somebody. And I did. I found this young lady that just was going to be thrilled to death to go with her friend and have fun. And I thought, oh, that made me feel good. So several people got blessed today, and I put a smile on a young lady's face, and I was thrilled. That's the whole point of it. If my daughter had been closer, I'd have given him to her, but I knew sure her husband wouldn't have driven all the way for that. So I thought, we're not going to bother with that. And, one of these days, if I can ever accomplish it, I'd love to be able to get Josh. Because, the goal is to eventually get him to the point where he can walk for long distances. He has some limitations with the Kleinfelters that he has, but I'd love to be able to get him a scooter only because he may be in the position where he'll need that one day. Yeah. Oh, she was bouncing all over the place. She was thrilled to death, and I was like, I found the person. Here you go. So it wasn't something that I felt that I can do. Now, Chris with Ohio Travels asked me if she wanted me to do something, and I got to send that to Josh. There's going to be a drone show, which I have never seen, and I think I'd like to go do that. But eventually, one of these days, I think I'd like to be able, and of course, he'll probably need a big man scooter and one that could fold up. And this is what I don't understand. Somebody like Josh, which could benefit from a scooter because of some of his disabilities. You can't get a scooter. You can possibly get a scooter, electrical one, to use only in your house. It never made any sense to my head. Okay, well, if you want people to be able to get out and do things a little bit, they have limitations. Why just in the house? It's a tough road to go down the Medicaid route, Medicare route to get a scooter, but they'll only do it for you to use it in the house. I never understood that. I mean, unfortunately, Josh's did not have the right. They didn't have health insurance growing up. He wasn't taken to the doctor like he should have been. He wasn't treated for the Klinefelters like he should have been. So all of those things really, you know, Well, I know that, but you also, when you were a teenager, uh, kind of diagnosed yourself and were told that. Yes, and he was told, no, you don't. So a lot of the growing hormones that should have happened didn't because he wasn't diagnosed properly. That if he had had, the diagnosis, they would have given him, testosterone and all that kind of stuff, which would have made him grow properly and not grown and had muscles and, you know, things that just didn't grow because his body didn't have the right hormone balance because of the Klinefelters. So anyway, that's kind of my spiel. But I can't afford a whatever that, those stroller things are too expensive. But maybe one of these days. We got to get him moving a little bit more. But really, when he was doing all that coughing, it was almost impossible because he was coughing so bad he couldn't do much. He was exhausted because then he was up all night coughing, and then I was up with him. Then we went to a little health thing beforehand. They were giving away some fruits and vegetables and stuff, so we went to that real quick. We picked up some squash and Mom got some bananas and so forth. So I'm ready for bed. And I woke up and I'm like, I could not I could not sleep last night for some reason. I was just tired and I just kept waking up and I just couldn't fall asleep. Part of it, I think, was because of the pain. I didn't cut that big enough, so we used it over here. I think I just was hurting enough, and so I kept waking up. So that was I was able to kind of get up, but I was kind of walking. Didn't feel the greatest, I can tell you that right now. I was not happy last night. I don't know what I did to. Still kind of tender today, but it's part of the reason why I didn't really want to go to the fair. I went to the Worcester County one, the Clydesdale, and that was just enough. I mean, that was just like the thought of going. Maybe it's not as big, and I'm sure it's an awesome fair, but I just didn't have a desire to go. So I made somebody else's day, and I'm very glad I did. Made my day to make her day, actually. And I made sure, I said to the people, I'm like, so are you going to the fair? I don't know, but I said, if I don't end up going, I will promise you they're going to go to somebody that's going to be wanting to go. It will get passed on to somebody. And they were like, that's cool. That's all we want. We want to make sure somebody has a good time. So I think these young ladies will. And maybe something that they wouldn't have done otherwise. So I was glad to make somebody else's day. The place made my day. I was very thankful for what they did, and I thought, I will make somebody else's day now. I think that's part of it, I think if we're given something and we can't use it, then we bless somebody else with it. And that's what I did. I mean, it was so funny it wasn't funny, but it was just a joy to watch this young lady just about turn over. She was so excited, wasn't she? She was just bouncing all over. It just made my day. It was like, I found the right girl. Like, man, I wish I could be that bouncy. She was like, she came out and got those tickets and she went in and she was like, what point time in my life? Afraid upon bouncing like that. Well, bounce and break something. So anyway. It worked itself out beautifully, and we were supposed to go to the store, and the Sammy, she thought it was so sweet, and I'm like, well, I can't. I could use them, but I knew.
The trip down there was worth it after seeing how.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. And the shop was just so stinking cute. And then you walked in, and they had like this. They had a beehive oven from like it was like a really old oven. It was like a beehive oven. It was so adorable. And so they kept the beehive oven there to show the history of it. And the floors were original floors. It was just this cute little store. It was a cute, very cute little fabric store. It was very unique. But now we'll have to go and check out the restaurant one day. So the lady took me around, and she told me about the little beehive oven, and it was just an absolute delight. And so and then I so it's just one of those. I mean, it was literally a hole in the wall fabric store, but it was just an absolute delight. And so I was glad to show them off. That's why I went live from there, because I thought, let me just go live from there real quick. I don't know if I can always go live when I'm at some place like that, but I thought she followed us on YouTube, so she's watching. Thank you, Sammy. You were an absolute delight. It was a pleasure to meet you today. And I will be back just for that one line of fabric. I loved it. So anyway. So I just loved her enthusiasm. She was enthused by what I was kind of enthused by. I said, I don't know if I'm dreaming. She goes, just doing something. She said, I think it's a great idea. She goes, what a great idea to be able to do that. And be able to have, the kits and have them come from places within Ohio. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I think it would be so unique. There's a piece of glue on here. It's easy to get off. It's just every once in a while they harden on there. So anyway. And Christina called me, Mom. So I said to her, that's fine, but I had a couple provisions for yesterday. She knows what they are. So she just, and I told her about, how this artist kind of brought me and Christina back together again. And she was like, I just want to cry. It was really sweet. She goes, I'm so glad you came in. And I'm like, I'm really glad we came in too, because it was just a delightful story. Those kind of encounters really make you feel special, and she did. And she said one thing that she said really resonated with me, and she goes, once you kind of find good quality fabric, you don't want to go back to places like Hobby Lobby. And I'm like, Hobby Lobby has its purpose for fabric. It does. And I have found some things that I like. But if we want to be in the position down the road to do kits, I just think that having the fabric sourced from different places within the Ohio area just makes it so much more special than it's just like from coming from Hobby Lobby. Because, like I said, I was at the country. I didn't see any of those kind of fabrics. I saw different ones of country fabrics, but not those. The stained glass ones, those were different. And there was several different things I'm like I had never seen before. And Yeah, I just think it's just a unique way to do it. Told me, I think it was called low pile or something, or she told me low. So I forgive me, I'm tired. I just think that anybody can go into Home Depot or no, I'm not looking tonight. Uh, Hobby Lobby and get fabric. But not everybody can walk into a quaint little store in the middle of what was that town called, Josh? Again, Unic?
You yelling at me?
Yeah, what was that town called again?
What was what?
What was the town called again?
Utica.
Utica, Ohio. I mean, it's tiny little town in Ohio, and pick fabric out. Yeah, it's not. It's just hole in the wall. Actually, we were able to go. I think if we had had more time, we weren't so tired. We probably would have gone in and gone to Mountain or Fredericktown because we weren't that far from it. Which is, if you're familiar with 90210, Luke Perry came from Fredericktown, Ohio. And I did visit that at one point in my life because I wanted to go see it. And Josh's like, it's probably grown since you've been here. I said, well, I don't know that. So anyway, just lovely little story. Y'all can watch the live from it. I thought I'll just do a live. I need to get some videos out, but sometimes right now it's the thought about doing a live video is a little overwhelming. Maybe because I've got soap caddies to do and I've got this to do. She was like, I've seen what the King of Saga, but she goes, I never knew what it was called. I said, well, there you go. I answered your question. So anyway, hopefully I can sleep. I just couldn't. I woke up and I couldn't go back to sleep. And then let me tell y'all, we were not happy because we were pulling in, and I have a ring for the back of my phone, which I've had to order another one now. And it's that we have a MagSafe case, and I have a little ring, and I use it a lot, especially when I'm in bed and I'm trying to just relax. I put it on the back of my thing, and I think I lost it at the gas station. And by the time we got down to the store, we were so tired. And Josh was like, it's probably already been picked up. And he said, let's just order order you a new one because he said, we'll waste more gas going back there. However, we were like thrilled to death as we pulled into the Kroger's parking lot because we're like, let's get gas for $2.99. We were thrilled. We pull into the thing. We park our car. It said $2.99. Between the time that we parked the car, I got out of the car to go around and put in gas into the tank. It went to $4.29 a gallon. Oh my goodness. People were like in the middle and they're we were not the only upset people, but I think in the process of the whole thing, I had the ring thing in the door and I think it fell out on the on the ground because I can't find it and I use it, so I just ordered another one. They're like $10 on Amazon. I didn't really want to, but I didn't really have a choice because I put it on the back of my phone and it prevents me from dropping it about 3,000 times. It's like I said to the guy, how in the heck could it go up that much in like 2 seconds? We were like thrilled to death. We're like, great, we're gonna get gas for $2.99. And like literally, we pulled in. It said $2.99. Josh finds a place. We park the car, and I get out, and it's $4.20. Not even like 2 minutes later, if that. And it went from $2.99 to $4.29. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. I can see it going up to like 320, but that much in that quick a time, you've got to be. I was, there's a lot of other people not happy with it. The guy next to us was like, I literally got out of my car, put the nozzle into the my car. He said, and I looked at the thing. It was $2.99 a gallon. He said, I put the nozzle in. He said, I turned around and looked, and it said $4.29. He said, there was a lot of people that weren't happy. Was not happy camper. It's like, come on, it's ridiculous. And then I think I forgot to put in my Kroger's number because I said to the guy, I said, wait a minute, it says $2.99. He said, yeah, we just had to change it. You gotta be kidding me. Anyway. Because we needed gas for tomorrow so we could go see Christina. I thought we got a great deal at $2.99 because the station by our house is $3.99 a gallon. However, in 2 seconds, it goes from $3.99 to $4.99 a gallon. Sorry, I'll stop ranting. I just don't make no sense. And I went around to take a picture of the thing. I thought I'll take a picture. And by the time I got around to take a picture, it said $4.29 a gallon. She's full of her people. So anyway, there was nothing much we could do about it at that point because we needed gas. But let me tell you, wasn't happy camper. We needed gas. So it was a delightful day. But I don't know if when I come home tomorrow, if I'm going to be in any shape to do anything. If not, I'm just gonna focus on soap caddies because I want to use up what yarn I have left. And I have gotten out of the habit of ending my stitches. Where's my white one? I usually end my stitches where I'm at. And I have a whole pile I have to now sew in because I've just been doing it. I thought, Mary, you weren't supposed to do that anymore because then you get to the point where you're like, I've got 20 to sit there and fold in, and it does not make me don't like doing it. But anyway, it is what it is. I'll still do it. I don't have to like doing it. I think I'm gonna have to get myself a cushion for this chair. So I'm planning to order. That's what I forgot to look at. I was gonna order one on Amazon, so I got a cushion for like a gel cushion to put under here. Hi Ellis, welcome on in. We're just finishing up our tilted teacups. And just talking. You all can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. And if anybody has sent me any emails, I will try to get back to them tomorrow. It's just been a little bit busy past couple of days here. I get soap caddies done and yep. So sometimes you can take this. You can of course do the facelift tuck, which helps. But because I'm seeing in white that I don't want to see through here. But if you have to, I wouldn't do it too hard, but you can take, hold on a second, I gotta get this little section over here. Take your thing and just kind of or not think, but your finger, just kind of press it and it will kind of get it back into shape if you've kind of had to move it a little bit. And if you get one that's kind of a little crinkled, just rub your finger over it and it'll straighten itself out. That, I don't know what happened to my something. Hopefully everybody's had a good Friday. This one's gonna be a little. Where was it that I saw it? It was right here. Right? Yep. I just want to kind of get this down. This was our little problem area that we had the other day, but here we go. And this will be all taken care of when we frame it, which we have ordered that saw for Josh wanted. So we'll see how that all works itself out. So we'll try to go live tomorrow. It'll be early. I'll go to Christina's, but I'm hoping to get done with this. And then I'm going to go have a shower and get myself to bed. 'Cause I love my kid, but I do not do well at all getting up in the morning. But I do it for her. So, and the lady that asked just has been such a sweetheart to Christina, and I thought, I'll go and I'll watch this little boy for my daughter. So I thought she's been really sweet because it's one of the reasons my daughter can be a stay-at-home mother. So what we do for our kids. And of course, they'll be taking the little one with them to the Bible study, so I won't have my precious little one, but I'll get to enjoy it after they get back. So, but he's too young to be away from mama yet, and I have a funny feeling the first time she has to leave him, she already doesn't like to be away from for very long. She's a very protective mama. I haven't noticed a difference. I don't think I put kale in here today. I don't have kale in here, it's just carrot. I decided to just do carrot, pineapple, and stuff. There's spinach in that one thing, that platter. But I have noticed that I'm not as waking up as warm as I was. Now, whether it has anything to do, I know it's the time in my life right now, but I'm thinking it's helping with that a little bit is to have the juice because I was waking up just kind of roasting, and whether it's helping with that, I don't know, but I have noticed a difference. I seem to sleep better. Of course, last night it wasn't that I was hot, I just couldn't go to sleep. But I think too it was because my back was hurting me real bad. It's hard to go to sleep when you have it's a different kind of pain. I must have pulled a muscle or something because it's different than what my normal sciatic pain was. But I am gonna try to should have had go ahead and look on Amazon because I need to have like a gel cushion underneath the seat. I think that's one thing I'm gonna have to absolutely invest myself in. There's you. There you be. Yeah, you went away from me. I decided I wanted to go hide. But I thought I should have ordered that, but I'll order it next. I'll order it this month. Just need a gel seat. So I can put it down. on the office chair and just have I think it'll help. Because this seat is certainly more comfortable than the chairs were, but it's still. And the problem is that I've sat on it so much lately that I think I've squished the padding out. There wasn't any padding in the office chair. It's kind of not there anymore. It's a comfortable chair. It's very good for my back, but what it is, it just needs a little bit more of a cushion. So I thought if I find a gel cushion on Amazon, I'll order it. I will order it. So I hope that whoever found my ring for my phone for the MagSafe thing uses it in good health. Because apparently I lost it somewhere between the time because we went to the rent-to-own place and what was it, Mount Vernon, and then there was a Jimmy John's. I was hungry and I was hurting, so I needed to take my medicine. And Josh was getting hungry, so we stopped in there, and I had points for a free sandwich. And I got him a sub and a tub, so we didn't spend that much for it. And then, while I was in there in the shop, oh, hi, Mrs. Grave. Welcome. Mrs. Gee, welcome on in. Go ahead and put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. So when I was in the wonderful little shop I went to today, then he was able to eat the sub or the sub in the tub. If you're not familiar with what we are doing something called Kina Saga, which has become a real passion of mine on this channel now. It's something I don't mind teaching you because I feel much more qualified to teach you all this than crochet. But it's the art of tucking fabric into foam board. And I have pre-cut the pattern out, but sometimes I can tell if I haven't done a deep enough cut. Hi, Riches. Welcome on in. You'll have to go check that little wonderful little fabric place we found today, too. All these cute fabrics. Apparently, there's a shop hop. You buy a magazine and you go like quilt shopping, hopping around. It's going to be something big tomorrow. But we're going to go see Christina. But I did pick up a few. Excuse me, from that little shop. And I'll show everybody real quick. Those are coming in from the well, that's awesome. From the uh, Beehive quilting shop today. We got this one, which I just loved. It was so pretty. It almost looks like stained glass, and I have not seen that one anyplace else. Loved it. I also got this. I just love the roses. I'm a big roses person. And then I'm still trying to find out the pumpkin. And what I've decided to do with the pumpkin is we're going to do the pumpkin later. We're going to do it because I guarantee you I'll be going down to the Amish country probably in September. So we'll do the pumpkin sometime next couple weeks here. And we'll go ahead and do it then, but I will do this one that looks like a quilt and get that down to the Amish country when I take the soap caddies down. That'll give me a little bit more time, and when I'm down there, I could see if I find a better combination of the oranges. Just I'm not finding it like it's like that's what I want yet. And then that way in September, I'll bring down the pumpkin and hopefully the Amish buggy because I've got the little wheels coming to make it look 3D. But this was a fabric I had never seen before. And this is hand dyed fabric. I loved it. It made it look like to me like fall leaves. This is hand dyed fabric. And she said this type of fabric, no matter whether it's on this side or this side, it's the same. It doesn't matter which side you use it on. And this is hand dyed fabric, and I just thought it was so pretty. There was a whole row of it, and I just loved it in all different colors. And then this one is the lighter color, which I thought was just absolutely beautiful. So I did pick up these 4 pieces of fabric at the little beehive quilt shop. She was very interested in possibly, you know, um, I guess they do quilt. They look for people to come in and possibly show people new things and techniques and so forth. So she said, absolutely, possibly do classes and so forth. So she was a delightful person. And it was over a restaurant that, oh, Josh, I'll have to try one of these times. But it's the 8th oldest restaurant in the state of Ohio. So we'll have to go absolutely and try it. But it's just this little town. Said at one point when I was telling her my idea of getting fabric and putting things together, quilts or patterns together and kits together with fabric from different stores. And, within probably, I'd have to say it would have to be from Columbus to maybe Cleveland is where I'd kind of stay in for the most part. Unless we were eventually maybe going down to Columbus, Indiana, where I could find, when we go visit family, but that would only be once a year where I would go maybe have a pattern and have that come from there. Um, and then, uh, if we went to Cincinnati, um, I'd have to I could maybe find some shops down there or something. But for the most part, I really kind of want to stay between Columbus and Cleveland and really find these just quaint little shops kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And so far, between Country Fabrics, Blooming Grove, this now one, the Beehive Quiltery, and then this Serendipity, which was closed when we went, so we have to go back there again. Serendipity, they're all kind of they're just off the beaten path kind of fabric stores, and I'm like, I'm loving it. And she just said, I'm getting goosebumps just listen. I said, well, maybe I have a crazy idea to do this. She goes, I don't think it's crazy at all. She said, I think it's wonderful. She said, I think it's an amazing idea. So she was very interested. And I said, well, she said their chicken, which Josh would like, uh, chicken Alfredo, so would Christina too. She said she loves Alfredo. Um, she said is better than Olive Garden. So we'll have to go back and try that restaurant at one point again. And it gives me an excuse to go down and look at the fabric. So the thing is, and this is the crazy part about it, is I really honestly have never had an issue with Parmesan cheese. My mom can't have Parmesan cheese, but for me, I've never had a problem with Parmesan cheese until we had a mold issue in our house in Coconut Creek. And then I started having issues. And I can't have Parmesan cheese like I used to. I mean, I used to dump it on my pasta. It was like I had to have my Parmesan cheese. Yeah, no problem. Until we had the mold issue in that house. And then I started having issues, asthma wise. And it just doesn't agree with me like it used to. Which I love Parmesan cheese. Now, my mother can have Parmesan cheese to a point as long as it's cooked. If it's cooked, she can have it to some degree. She just can't go overboard. She can't have penicillin either. So she's allergic to penicillin, straight penicillin. And I never had a problem with it till we had that mold issue in the house in Coconut Creek, and then forget it. When we had a problem with that, I had problems after that with it. And it just could be I get great anxiety when I'm going to start new medications. And I just have issues. So anyway, but that's the scoop. But we'll have to go try the restaurant out upstairs. And she said we're pretty booked with classes and everything, but she said certainly. She said down the road. She said, of course. She goes, I'd be looking for. We're looking for people to come in, teach. Our people about new things and new techniques. And she goes, that would be awesome. So I was really glad. And then we won some tickets to a local fair today. So we went to pick those up. That's what started the whole thing. Unexpectedly, I'm mad. And of course, they were given a little bit of something. And we were able to. And so when we went to pick up the tickets for the fair, I just said because there's new people coming in, I just said to the people, I said, at the rent a own place, I said, I don't know if we'll use the tickets. I said, if not, I'll make sure that I give them to somebody that will enjoy them. But I said that little bit of cash they were given. That wasn't much, but was very grateful. I thought, well, Mocha needs food, so that'll take care of Mocha's dog food. So anyway, when we went to the store, there was a grandmother and her granddaughter coming in, and I just felt led. I said, do you know anybody? I thought maybe the lady at the store would want it. And I said, do you know anybody that think would like to have these tickets? And that girl about jumped herself inside out. She goes, oh, I'd love to have them. She goes, me and my friend could go. And she said, Grandma, you think you can drop us off? And she was, older teen. And she goes, yeah, I can do that. I think you can give me a little money so I can go enjoy myself. And Josh is like, it was worth the drive just to see that girl that turned over to get those tickets. So she was just turned over. And I had the soap caddies with me because when we went to the place, I gave them the soap caddies when because they're doing another giveaway tomorrow, and they're doing like 5 different giveaways. Or they're doing 5 different people winners. I said, well, you give the 5 soap caddies away when you do your thing. So they're gonna kind of give us a little bit of shout out tomorrow. I said, well, you blessed us. I was able to bless them with some soap caddies and other people with soap caddies. And then I had soap caddies with me, and I handed the girl a soap caddy. I said, here's one for you, and here's one for your grandmother. Now you go in, because when she said, Grandma, you think I could have a little bit of money to spend at the fair? And Grandma said, I guess. I said, you go in and tell your grandmother what an amazing grandmother she is. Because she went in and handed that soap caddy to her and said, here, Grandma, this is for you being an amazing grandmother. So anyway, I thought, well. And I have a stash of like soap caddies I give away for, if I'm out and about, I'll just give samples away. And the yarn that I have in there was yarn that I got from Hobby Lobby when they were closing out of yarn. And so it's not a color I can get again, and it wasn't color I was totally crazy about, but I used it. But I got it for like $1.25 for a skein. So that yarn lasted me, and I got blue and green and several others, but I grabbed that color and I was like, I'll use these for samples. So I really like to get rid of the soap caddies I have in that color because I can't get the color again. And I mean, they're nice, but they're not as nice as the other ones. I'm glad to get, they're my sample collection of soap candies to give out. And, Josh is like, you want to go walk around the fairgrounds, and you go walk around. I can't do it. So anyway, he's starting to try to get back into the swing after all that coughing that he went through. And then Christina called and said, Mom, do you think you can come up tomorrow? I need help with something. So I'm going to go get up at 7:30 and go help her. And last night my back was acting up. So between all that, I just didn't feel like I knew I'd be walking around by myself, and I thought I'm just not up to it. That girl just about turned herself inside out to think about going to the fairground with her friend, and I'm like, go right ahead, have a ball. Made my day. Yeah, I love it too, and I would have, and I think if I wasn't, if I wasn't, if I knew I could go and and have the fairground experience, and then come home and just collapse. But I knew I had to go to, help Christina a little bit with, watching that little one tomorrow. Not the little boy she watches. So they can go to Bible study, and then they want to go. She wants to go to some place tomorrow afterwards. So I'm like, oh, I don't care. I can see my grandson after they come back, and I can spend all the time with him after that. I'm like, I have no problem. You don't twist my arm to go do it. So I just I just knew it wasn't going to be something. And I've been very careful with my back today. I don't know what I did to irritate it, but it's different than the normal sciatic nerve pain I've gotten. I went through months of sciatic nerve pain. This is different. But like I said, I got to look and get a gel cushion for under this chair. I think I've worn out the fabric on my office chair. For the cushion, there's not really much left. So let's finish this. So we'll see what time I get back, what energy level I have tomorrow. And then if not, I'm going to work on soap caddies tomorrow night till we get back. And usually if I get up and have to go to her house at 7:30 in the morning and have the day, I usually come home and I am exhausted. And then I have to get up at 7:30 in the morning and or 8 o'clock in the morning and go to church. So, but on Sunday, which I don't normally go live Sunday, but I will go live Sunday, and we'll do the quilt one, which shouldn't take that long to do. Then that way that'll be done. And then that way I could take that one down to the store and we can put that one out as a test in that quilt store and see how long that does. And then I know I'll be down there before the start of September, which is where the pumpkins and everything will come in handy. And we can also work on the wagon one, the Amish wagon, and I can take that down there. And then we'll see how long the other one takes to see if that does well down there. Because see, I'm on consignment down there, so I can take either the soap caddy or the Kina Saga stuff. So we'll take that one down, and then I'm not trying to get soap caddies done, and I haven't picked out the combination yet for the pumpkin. I just haven't found the right combination yet. I really would like to, I thought about it when I was in there, and I thought, yeah, I don't mind using other fabric, but I'm like, I really like to use at least a piece of fabric from the actual store that they're in, that it's sitting in. I don't mind that it's got other fabric from other stores, but it needs to have at least maybe one piece in there that comes from the actual store that it's going to sit in. So instead of trying to do something and then I'm not going to be totally happy with it, I don't want that. So we'll do it that way. I think it's the right way to go. This one is going tomorrow. She doesn't know it yet. But if I didn't take my mother when she came over, looked at, I just love the colors and I love that one a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I knew that. I know you too well. So I know my mama way too well. Now again, and I tell people this, they're probably going to get tired of hearing me when I say this. If you're using these and you're using them to kind of press in fabric, you've got to handle it with a little bit of TLC because it will go right through your foam board very easily. It's great for putting glue on. It's great for kind of rounding, edges out. It's great for this part when you got to round something up and you need to kind of get a clear round for it, but you just got to be careful when you're using these. And I do that because they're on our list of supplies. I don't want people to think, oh, you can use these to do your can. No, you need to really stick with the seam ripper. But these make for great little tools for putting the glue on. And I find that if I need a really clean round and I can't get it, I use this. And I also find it very helpful when you're doubling your fabric up and it's a little stiff and you need a little bit more of a tool to do it with. It does make a difference. It does get it into what you want it to. I won't tell the story out though. So hopefully by next week I will have this pattern up on the merch store. Now that we've tested it out for the most part, we know that there wasn't too many corrections. I just have to see if there's a way that I can get the lines so thick. That's my only thing about it, but I may not have a choice. I mean, it's not like the pizza was. The problem with the pizza was it was like thick, but then it looked like it was confusing because you didn't know where to cut. This is not going to give you that same problem. If the lines are thick, you'll still I had no problem cutting this. The pizza one that Christina gave me that I did for her is going to need a little bit more work. The reason I tell people is because of this. I'll show you in a second once I cut this piece because I'm done with this. Here's the reason. Here's the problem. I'll show it right now in a second. That's why I say something because, okay, even just using the white one, which is pretty small, it doesn't take much for this to kind of go right through. I don't know if y'all can see that. See, that's what I'm trying to say. If you're using it, it goes through this very easily, a lot more easily than the seam ripper does. So you just have to use these very gently because it will go through very, very easily if you're not careful. So when I use them with a little bit of TLC. But like when we were putting this together, I would have really been struggling using the seam ripper because it needed a little bit heavy hitter, which were these. And then if you need to use the water technique, I use this color for the water because it's bigger. I use this end. I use the white one out a lot. So I just like to tell people because I mean you literally could go right through your thing and then you're like, oh, I put a big giant hole in it. You gotta use them with a little bit of TLC. But they are handy tools to have. Your seam ripper is your best friend, though. But when you got to double up your fabric, that does come in handy because this was doubled up. I doubled up the fabric, and then it's thick and it's hard to put in, and the seam ripper sometimes just doesn't have enough oomph. So you just have to be careful. You can press, and you'll learn. I've learned how much to press and how much not to press and all that kind of stuff. You'll learn how much to do. I use all the tools, but I go back to the seam ripper. I was hoping actually when I did it, when I ordered them, I thought that would be a great thing to use versus the seam ripper. The other problem that I've noticed with them is if you use these tools, right? Like if I'm trying to put them in, sometimes it will actually start fraying the out it'll come up with it's not doing it now, but sometimes I have to be very careful because it actually will come up with material from the fabric. So I've noticed that it can somewhat easily almost kind of start fraying the fabric a little bit if you're not careful. So I thought, oh, well, maybe these tools will work instead of having to use the seam ripper, but they don't. The seam ripper works the ultimate best one. Really, honestly, it just does. But if you get one that's aerodynamical or whatever it is, I can't say tonight, I'm too tired. You have your hands won't hurt. Now, see, this is where, like right here is where I put that double fabric. So this is going to be a little harder to put in. So the seam ripper is great, but this really helps to kind of push it in. I need the weight of this tool, but I will not use it for the entire, I won't use it in place of the seam ripper because it sometimes just doesn't. You got to be really careful. You can use it, just got to be careful. You can use all of those glue things. You just, but sometimes you do need that because otherwise you got to have. That was not going to go down there with the seam ripper, or it was going to take forever to go over it over and over and over again for it to go down in there because that was on a piece of thick, um, thick material the from the other. So from this that had to be done, I had to double it up because it was kind of see-through, kind of not. I didn't like the way it looked without the white fabric behind it. I have to go look at my bathing suit. Some kind of spillway or something. I don't know. I mean, we'll see tomorrow. If I can, I'll try to take a video or maybe take a little video of it. So I've never been there before. She's talked about it, but I've never been there before. So we shall see. Of course, I have to bring my fabric because there's there's a chance of rain too tomorrow. So I'm like, okay. So I will bring my fabric in case, because I don't really have a project. Well, I do, but I want to do the quilt with you all. I don't think I want to take the time to cut out a new one. Well, I guess I could take the quilt one, and then that way, if by chance, it's raining and we can't go to the place, then I can go live with you also. If we go and it starts raining or something. I don't have anything else cut out. I really don't want to cut anything else out tonight. Not that I don't mind, but well, I could take. I have. That's another thing I can think about doing. I think I'll take a 7x9 and cut it because if by chance Josh wants to give his uncle, he wants me to do a cross for his uncle. We have to do another cross for the lady that gave me all the fabric. So we'll see. We will see. Just that way, if I did, I can. I mean, it would be in two different places. I don't know. At least if I bring the cross down, I can do it, and I can do that. And that way, if I don't, then that way I can. Because I want to do the quilt as a separate live. Because I want people to see, because it's going to be a real easy pattern. So I think I'll just bring down. I'll bring down. Bring a 7x9, and just put some stuff on it, and I'll use it anyway. And then that way, if she wants to go live. However, I don't think that's going to happen because you know that way, if we just want to craft together, I can just pull that out. And you've already seen me kind of do the 7x9 one across anyway. We've already done that one. So there's no sense for me to go live and do that one again. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And if she wants to go live tomorrow, then we can, but I don't think that'll be the case. I'll just bring down my. I've got to cover it anyway with that stuff. I think she wants to go to that place, but on the offset chance it decides to rain, we won't be able to go. Then she'll want to craft. But she has to pick out fabric anyway for some of the projects she couldn't pick out in church. So I have to bring my fabric anyway. We have 2 more pieces. And like I said, I am gonna get myself to bed. I'm gonna go get a shower and get ready for bed. And I'm gonna go to bed. Because I have to be up 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I like it too. I'm just so glad she's finding something that's helpful to her right now and her what she's got dealing with. And I think it's wonderful that she's finding a place to kind of relax and have a where she's kind of able to get creative and she's excited about it. She's having fun about it, and I'm just thrilled. I've got to frame her other one, but Josh did order some kind of saw or something because he wants to try to make better frames. He'd like to make more sturdy frames, especially if we're going to be. I mean, the paint stick frames are great, but he's like, if we're going to put these in stores where you're going to have them, he said, we really need to get better frames. And shadow box frames are not cheap. It can be very expensive. So it gives him something to do. So he ordered a little bit better thing to be able to use to be able to do that with. There was one person I found and they made their frames and they did a beautiful job with them. They included them. I think they included them as an option with the kit. You could have a frame so that you could just get done and put your picture in it. I mean, the paint sticks are a great idea. And he did better with paint sticks, but we're also doing better with our cuts because we first started doing this. He was learning, and we, of course, that tool we got with the hot knife, it makes such an easy job of cutting. So our edges are much more smooth. But telling you, the one had to do Christina's the first one. The edges were not smooth, and I thought I was going to throw it across the room at one point. With, of course, it probably didn't help that it was about 3:30, about 2:30 in the morning when I was trying to get that frame on. But it wasn't easy. I got it on, and it looked really pretty when I did it and finished it and everything. But it wasn't, you know, it wasn't as clean as I wanted. And I think if the sides had been even, it would have been better. But there was a huge gap, so I would get one on the back. I'd get one side going, and then it didn't want to stay on correctly. So it's not the ultimate option, but if you're looking for something inexpensive to do, paint sticks are a great idea. I just think that we'll have to, if we want them, especially going into places and going into, you know, um, you know, into places where they're going to be selling the piece, I think we have to have frames that look a little bit more polished, if that makes any sense. Then, paint sticks are fine. They're great. They're a great alternative. I just think they're not as polished as I want if I'm going to be putting them into places that maybe somebody will purchase it. Especially down there, they're looking for a little bit. I mean, I love the way the flag one came out, what we did with the flag, but that makes any sense. So, and his hands, unfortunately, can't, part of the problem is his hands, the miter saw is great, but it's hard for him to operate because he has arthritis in his hands. So this will make it easier. And I'm trying to give him that so it gives him something to do. He feels like he's helping and he feels like he's participating in it. And it makes him feel good. So I'm trying to, have him as part of this journey with me because he's my better half and my partner. Couldn't do it without him. It wouldn't be as much fun, I can tell you that. So anyway, so I ordered it so that he can do things easier. And just so everybody knows, you do not need to use paint sticks to frame stuff. You can find frames at Goodwill. I've seen people, those shadow box frames that have the words behind it to put in. You can use ribbon and just do it with ribbon and it would look fine. You could take the fabric itself and wrap it around and it would be fine. You could take fabric, and I've seen people do it where we did the frame like we did with the rose, where you could take the fabric and make the fabric the frame. You don't need to do any of the stuff that we're choosing to do. I really like the wood frame, and like the gentleman that I saw that we're in the group I'm in the group with, his frames were not sealed. that's the way he wants to do them. Would I recommend not sealing them? No. Only because you've got fabric that is going to absorb moisture with wood that's going to absorb moisture. So would I recommend not sealing them? And maybe he has. I don't know. Yeah. It just depends. I mean, the thing is that right now we have several, this one's a 7x9, but not every one we have is a 7x9. So if you order, you know, some are 8x8, some are 7x9. This way he will be able to make them himself, and then he's doing something. There's a reason why I'm doing it. In the sense of he always loved woodworking shop and putting stuff together and creating stuff and making stuff. So he feels that he's doing something, and I think it makes him feel really, really good. And he loves figuring stuff out. And yeah, yes, he loves figuring stuff out, doing all that kind of stuff. He loves all that stuff. So he feels as if he's participating. He feels like he's helping me. There's a sense of accomplishment. I think is really, really good for him. You know, he's doing a little bit of, I just think it's really good for him mentally. And so, you know, I just think it's a really good place for him to be. I mean, if we can get out to the garage and get it a little bit more organized, he can have his garage, then he can do a little bit more. But he loved doing woodworking in class, and he loved figuring out measurements and all that kind of stuff. So it's giving him something to do. He feels like he's helping me. He's able to put it together. He has a sense of pride about it. And I just think it's overall really good for his mental well being in a lot of ways. So, you know, yeah, he is. So there's a reason, because if I go on this, as I'm going on this journey, whatever happens, and Christina's coming with me, and I've got to sit down with Alfonso because I've got 3 shirts that I'm going to do that I think are just so cute, um, for Kina Saga. But I, I want him to feel like he's a part of it too, and he's not a part of doing this. He's not interested with this. He's not interested going into the fabric stores and picking fabric out. He's not interested. But he loves putting things together and making things and creating things when it comes to that kind of stuff. And, you know, I don't think I could have cut out the miter squares for the frame I did for Christina on her first project the way he did it. He did an amazing job. Was it difficult to get on? Yeah. And it was just because it was one of the boards we used for our first cut. And so they were all wonky. And I don't care what you would have done. It would have not been for it would have never made it for an easy cut, no matter what we had done. So it wasn't his fault that the frame was difficult to get on. It was just the way we had to he did the thing when he was learning, and he's doing better, making the cuts on the foam board, and he's measuring them out. They're coming out straighter, and you know, I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, I know for myself, I want to feel as if I know I'm disabled and there's things I'm limited to, but I want to feel like I'm accomplishing something. But I also know that for a man, it's really important to feel like he is contributing, he's accomplishing, and he's doing something. And he doesn't have the ability to go out and have a normal job and feel like he's providing for his family and taking care of you know, what God has given him. And so this way he kind of feels like he is doing something. And he feels like he's helping me, and he sees the passion I have for this, and he's happy to see that, and he's happy to help me, and he feels like he's helping. You know, he doesn't feel like he's sitting there. Sometimes he'll say to me, I just feel like I'm just sitting there, just unable, I'm not good for anything anymore. And so it helps him. I think it really helps him mentally. And he said to me the other day, he said, I don't know whether it's the King of Saigon. He said, I think it's a combination of that and what I'm doing to help you and our grandson, and just kind of wanting to move around and getting my body in shape a little bit better. And, you know, I just think I think it's just really good for him at a mental level. That's really good. Gets his brain moving and thinking and working. And I mean, he's, I have a smart cookie for a husband. I tell y'all. Y'all want to know how smart he is. He's a smart cookie. I mean, he went in school and his teacher used to hate it because he was not one of those kids. He would and his stepfather did not allow him because of his grades to go into like wood shop. But he would have thrived in wood shop because it would have been working with his hands, which he would have learned more working with his hands because that's the kind of kid he is, or what it was. So he would sleep through school. Absolutely, that's exactly it. He'd sleep through school, and his teacher was like, he is not learning anything. Well, he wouldn't do any of the homework, he wouldn't do any of the stuff, but he'd sleep through school, take the test, and ace the test. Why? Because he was listening. He just didn't want to do the work because it was book work. He wasn't excited about book work. Now, if you
Who,
take,
me?
yes, you.
It wasn't that I didn't want to do the book work. It didn't challenge me.
It didn't challenge. He should have been.
What I knew, and teachers would tell me, you have to do all the work in the work. You can't just write down the answer.
So he knew it, but if he had been challenged in school, it would have been different. Now, here's the thing. He really wanted to go serve into the military. He very much wanted that. Unfortunately, his Achilles tendons were too tight, so he was unable to serve in the United States military. He tried. He went and took the I'm going to say it wrong, the alphabet test. And I don't think he's listening. He's listening. Um to see if he could go in and serve. And they wanted him very much in the military. But again, his Achilles tendons were too tight, so he was not able to go in and serve.
They wanted me on a nuclear sub.
Well, give me a minute. So he took the AFED test. Well, let's track it. He took the GED because he didn't do school, so he didn't finish. He took the GED. He got a perfect score on the GED. This is a man that was considered not the smartest school and the tool in the school and toolbox in school. So he got a perfect score in the GED. He went to go into the military. He was unable to do because of the Achilles tendons. They wanted him on a nuclear sub once he took the AFET test. Nuclear sub to be a nuclear engineer. And he didn't want to do that. He wanted to be into planes and all that kind of stuff. He said, I wasn't going to have my kids glow. He said, I didn't want to be in the bottom of the sub. He said, and mind you, he's 6'3", 6'4" in this tiny sub. He said, he said, I wouldn't have wanted it. He said, I would have wanted to be in the working with the planes. That's what he wanted to do. He said he wanted to be in the new, on a Navy thing fixing the planes. He ranked so high on the AFET test. They wanted him really wanted him in the Navy. They wanted. Well, it's something, but anyway, you rank so high on there that's you. They really wanted him. Unfortunately, he couldn't serve. What?
I had the Army, the Marines, and the Air Force. All three asked me, "Why do you want to be a sailor?" Because I get to go place to place on a boat.
Yeah. But you wanted to go work with the planes.
Yeah, I wanted to work with the planes.
Yeah.
On the boat.
So he's an
sorry.
He is an extremely intelligent man. But he wasn't. Bookwork was not for him. He wanted to be in on the wanted to be
Air Force.
I love how it came out. I love it. Look, now we have to frame it. I love it. I think the teacups stand out. So cool. Love the teacups. All right. People here again, so you can see where my dilemma is in my head. All right. This is where my dilemma is when it comes to the pumpkin. Okay. This is kind of my dilemmas, okay? All right. I love this. Yes, it look came out so cool.
I can't have juice for a while.
Why?
Just leave it at that.
I'll take a break from it again for a little bit. All right, anyway. Okay, here's the issue. Here's the pumpkin. Okay, so imagine a pumpkin. I can't find, or I could not find anything with fall leaves worth anything. That my envision in my head for this was tiny fall leaves. Okay, so I was at Country Fabrics the other day, and this is the closest to kind of like fall leaves design that I could possibly do. So I thought this would be great for around the pumpkin. Okay, then this was the original one that I really loved that I got someplace. I can't remember. This was at Blooming Fabrics, wasn't it? I think it was at Blooming Fabrics. I think, or it was Country Fabrics. I can't remember. Anyway, this I loved with this. Okay. Then at Country Fabrics yesterday, I found this. I don't know if you can see. It's got a little bit of glitter. It seems like with every pattern I do from the start, we've had a glitter in the rose. We've had a glitter with this one. We've had a glitter with the goose. We've had a glitter with the flag. We've had a glitter with a cross. Every one I've done has had just a little fabric with a little sparkle. So I think that's like my signature thing. I'm going to start is I'm going to go, okay, in here is going to be a little bit of glitter fabric of some kind in each piece I do, even if it's just a little tiny bit. So I like this and this together. Okay, so this would be the background of the pumpkin. The pumpkin would be the middle, and I like these two together. But I also feel like it needs some kind of lighter thing or something to divide it up. So when I was at I might have to start putting these in files or something so I know where I got them from. Putting a late. I think I may need to get like safety pins and put a little note or something, or something to be able to put like a safety pin note of exactly where I got it from. Or I could get those would work too. Little tag things, and then I could put them on there. That would be the best thing, and I've got them. I use them for my crochet, and then I could just start writing the fabric store down and then attaching it to the thing when I do it. That's an option. But anyway, I got this at the Blooming, or not Blooming Fabric, at the Beehive quilt store today. So I kind of like that, where I would be taking the strips of the pumpkin. So I wanted something that was kind of lighter. Um, take the strips of the pumpkin, and so then this goes behind. like that. Let me turn it this way, okay. And I think that this would be best on the outside of the pumpkin. And I like this as one of the strips. I don't know if this necessarily goes. I don't think it looks terrible. I think it looks great. I also like this because it kind of looks like fall leaves. But I'm wondering if it's too much with that. Or whether it would just be better to just have that. I'm kind of liking this now that I put it together. And then I was going to take this. I'm kind of liking that now that I'm looking at it like that. I wasn't too, now that I look at it, it's not as off as I thought it was going to be. I kind of like it now. I think that would look really pretty. I wasn't too sure if I like this and this, but now that I got them together, I kind of like it. Then I was going to use this for the bow, but I was thought this will look like a raffia bow, or to be able to use this, even though it has sparkles on it too, which is the gold fabric, to be able to use as kind of the bow. I really like this because, but I don't know if I like that. I definitely don't like that. I think it's too much. You know what? They work all together. You know what may look really cool because there's like, and I've got the brown, there's a little bit of turquoise in there. I wonder whether or not, wonder whether or not it would be better to go and like, I have to go down and see what we have down there too, down at the store. And I could possibly put that in. I don't know. I mean, that may, I don't know. I don't think I like that. See, I don't like that with that. And they go okay, but I'm not sure if I'm totally, all of it. So I gotta go down to that store and look. Trying to see the color. You know what would probably look really good? Possibly. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking about it. I don't know if I'll have that color, but two things may look really good. I don't think I'm going to try to rush to do the pumpkin necessarily this second. Hold on a minute. I'm just seeing something. Trying to see if I have it. I don't think I do, though. I do not think I do. Before I pulled that one out. Do, 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 do. It's not gonna work. Because didn't know if I had the stripes in that, but I don't see the stripes on that. So not the stripes. I was looking for something else. But I don't think I have the stripes in that one. Possibly, and I don't know if this would go too. Something to think about. But I still think I'm gonna wait and see what I have down at that store. Is possibly something like this. Be too much. As like the bow for it. Possibly something like that. Only because there is blue in here. But that may just take over. Like I said, I don't think I'm totally not there yet. Or something like this. That would be really cute. It'll just depend on. I think I'm gonna wait and see what's down there too. You can also do something like this too. If you were doing a bow. All those may work. Yeah, but I think this is just the beginning. This may be really cute too. If it was put in the right direction. That may be really cute too. So, but I think my best idea is to go down to the store, bring what I have, and figure out something from there too. So, for sure. But I think, like for the stem, or the possibly, and then the stem will just be brown. But anyway, and ideas. But gotta pack all this up, and then because Christina has projects and she's gonna pick up that back and forth. But anyway, ideas for things for sure. But I kind of like that a lot better than I did. I had to find something I really like for the but I'm liking that so far a lot. For the pumpkin. I just gonna go down and see what they have when I go deliver the soap caddies. I know that I can't. I wanted to get fabric the other day at that store and I didn't. So I'm just gonna get like I've been doing like $10 here and $10 here and you know. Now when I go into a new fabric store, I do want to support them, and especially if I'm like talking to them about my soap caddies or talking to them about you know um, possibly having our soap caddies or our Kina Saga. I just feel like it's like, I can't do a lot. I mean, I can't do a lot. Like the place that we did the commission for the soap caddies in Berlin. Um, I didn't buy any fabric, but I also had to pay like $20 to have one time fee of commission fee. So I still supported the store and but I didn't buy any fabric. But I kind of feel like if I'm going in and maybe showing off the sub caddies or something, like the place in the blooming grove, they have our card and one of our soap caddies on the counter, and I feel like even if I just buy $10 worth on supporting the business a little bit, I can't always do it, but I at least feel like I can do a little bit of something. And it kind of test out the fabric and make sure that that's the place I want to go to start writing these names down. It's like I want to make sure that that's a place that, yeah, I'd love to be able to send people to, or I want to source fabric from because the quality's there. And not that you need to, top line quality for stuff either, but it does affect, I think, the overlook of the pattern, and I think I think it affects it. And if you get fabric that's thin and not the greatest quality, what you're going to be running into is you're going to have to be doubling it. So more, you're going to have more difficulty, and you're going to have more cost because you're going to have to double it. So, and even though like this, we didn't have to double it, but this came from Country Fabrics, but it still needed weight behind it. So, you know, it all depends. I mean, this fabric up here that's the blue, that came from Amazon and it worked out great. This came from Country Fabrics. This came from Amazon. I didn't need a double that. That came from Hobby Lobby. So, I think it just makes a difference. I just feel like I don't have to go in there and give them and support them, but I feel like to some degree we should. We try. We always do it. Try. But I think I really like that combination. But still, I think we're gonna. And I also feel like between the soap caddies that have to be finished and then um, that one that I want to do, I'm thinking I just don't think there's enough time to do the soap caddies that need to be finished and that one pattern that needs to be done. And I just don't think I have enough time. Because we're probably going to go down there on Friday. This coming Friday. Yeah, this coming Friday. And the reason I want to go down there on a Friday instead of a Saturday is because Saturday down in the Amish country is really busy. I don't want to go down there. So, anyway. If you shop there and give them your business once, well, yep, it does. The place we went to today, they're willing to possibly have us come and be teaching classes about, showing people this and showing techniques. And they do retreats. I don't know where, but they do retreats and so forth. So they're a business that may put our soap caddies in or put picture items of our King Saga in. So I want to show them a little support. The place down in the Amish country in Berlin has our soap caddies in it. Um, I did approach Country Fabrics about doing something, but they're not ready for that yet, which is fine. So I want to support, and it's like I just spent $12 today. That was all I could spend, but of course, it was just a little something. So, and that one, this one, I just thought, what was it? I have not seen this anyplace, and it looks like stained glass. I have not seen that anyplace. That I really like. And it gave me an idea to think, I gotta figure out a stained glass window of some kind for that. Because that looks really cool. I'm like, I gotta figure out some kind of stained glass. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. They had three different ones, but this was, I think, the most versatile for the King of Saga. So, so it's just, you know what I can do. Well, I can't do that. I don't know. I'll bring that as an option because if it rains, I can take that one down. I just can't show you all that one yet. So I promise I wouldn't show it with Kim, but I think I'll take those two down tomorrow. I'm gonna look at my swimsuit. Yeah, I'm gonna do something. I did get the other day. I did get the stuff to do our church. Because I have my church that I want to do. I've got a pattern for. I got it at um, where was it? Country Fabric the other day, and it's our church is red brick. So and it kind of has like stone in the middle. So there's your red brick. I could not find red brick, but I figured that was pretty close. That looks like stone, and then looks like clouds to me. And then this for the grass, and then I've got the rest of the colors that I can do. So that came from Country Fabrics. You have red brick fabric, yeah. Well, ours is like tiny red brick, and I just thought that this was really cool. I really like this because it's not. I just thought it kind of went. I really liked it with this. I thought it kind of looks like that without having to be it. And I don't need. I don't. It doesn't have to be brick. As long as it goes together. It'll be fun. I really liked this because our church has it's like stone in the middle, and then it has a cross. And I just really like these two together. I really liked how these looked together, and I liked that this looked like grass to me. This was at Country Fabrics yesterday, without it making this look like Christmas, because this is going to be next to this. And then I thought this looked like sky. I mean, it just looks like clouds. Hey, budget, welcome on in. You can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. So anyway, that's down the road. At least I've got that one for that. But I think it'll be nice. Yeah. Absolutely. So for those coming in, our channel has been taken over by King of Saga. And I'm not sad about it at all, actually. It's become a tremendous passion. We have 3 patterns on our website, our merch store. And so it has become a tremendous passion of this girl who is loving the ability to do this. Her daughter is loving it. We're doing it lots, bunches, and I'm having a blast. And I'm glad you guys are willing to come along the crazy ride with me because I'm gathering. I will take this tomorrow. And I will take this tomorrow in case. I don't know. My mother says it may rain. I don't need this tomorrow. So, in case it decides to rain, Christina said, bring your stuff. In case she feels like. Listen, when it comes to Ohio weather, we never know. So, this way, if it rains, at least I'll have this. And then that way, I can take the King of Saga with me and take the stuff. And doesn't rain. If it rains, then at least she said we could do this. I'm like, okay. So, but I still have to bring my fabric because she still has pieces she has to choose fabric for. So, anyway, that is done. It just has to be framed. But I love how it came out. I love how the 2 packs came out. Came out so good. And no, I'm not outlining this one. I think I would go stir crazy if I did. Mom, I don't know if you can throw my laundry in the wash while you're there. She has projects, so I don't think of doing that. These little things just in case she sees. Yes, I don't know if you can throw the stuff in the washer. It's in the dryer. Or yeah, throw the stuff in the washer to the dryer. I'll come up with it in a minute. Yes, thank you. All right. Oh boy. Tired. Tired, tuckered, and tired. All in that order. So, I gotta throw the rest of that in. These 2. Okay. And this. This way, if I don't need it, it'll be in the car. But if I do, then I'll have it. I don't have to bring all this other stuff. I'll just bring it along for the ride, and if we don't use it, then we don't use it. But if we do, then at least we'll have it. But I have to bring the fabric. That has to come with because she has to do some choosing of fabric, which her husband will probably very much appreciate. It's not happening in the church parking lot. And I don't have to bring it on Saturday or Sunday. So anyway, I know that we'll probably be going live tomorrow on the way to Christina's in the morning. I don't know what the rest of the day is going to look like or what that will bring. So it'll kind of be, we're going to go by the seat of our pants, right? I got this accomplished, which I was very glad that I could. And if depending on how I am feeling tomorrow and what we do, I will choose whether or not I'm going to come live after I get done with Christina. Usually I'm pretty tired after a day. And then if not, I will come Sunday and we'll finish the quilt. And then we'll keep going. We're just going to keep doing this. Hopefully, y'all are having a blast because I'm having an absolute blast doing this and I'm not stopping. I'm loving it too much, y'all. And then we'll frame this one. And yes, I will do it when we can. When we can, I will do it so that you all can see or get it. Yeah, I'm just trying to. This one got a little bit shy. I think it's because that's because that's there. This other one was hard to get down because of the previous one. Yes, it is so pretty. And yes, it is so much fun. So I'm having a ball. And I'm having a ball too going to some of these other quilting stores and fabric stores, and I'm meeting some really cool people, and I'm really enjoying it. Just trying to get some of this white because it doesn't look right for it to be all white down there. It just doesn't look right. So one thing about that fabric I'm not crazy about, it kind of has a white tinge when it gets frayed a little bit. Some of it's from this other part that's there, but I think sometimes you have to pick it up like this and look at it because sometimes what you're seeing when you're going down, you're seeing things that people are not going to see. Then when you pick it up and look at it like this, it's already tucked in there and you don't see it. So sometimes you need to take it and go, oh, okay, well, that little piece that I'm fussing over, nobody else is going to see because I'm looking at it from a very different angle than people are going to be hanging it on the wall. If that makes any sense. So sometimes you need to pick up your pattern and look at it from the way that people are going to look at it hanging it on the wall. Yes. All right, never mind. I'm not with it. Okay, well we'll get it in the morning. I have shorts I can wear tomorrow. Maybe, and if not, I thought I turned it on. Something happened. I thought for sure I turned the washer on. I lost my Marlboros, y'all. So that's something to do if you're sitting there fussing over something and you want it to be a certain way. Just pick it up and look at it from the angle that they're going to be looking. They're not going to be down like this looking at you're going to be looking at things this way. So when I look at things this way, certain things that are like to me sticking out don't stick out this way. So take your thing and look at it from this direction instead of looking down like this because there's crevices down like this that you're not going to see up like this. Just a little tip. Anyway, I'm going to go get ready for bed and go to bed so I can get up at 7:30 in the morning and go see my daughter and my grandson and all of those wonderful things. And see what tomorrow brings. And I'll get up and look for my swimsuit tomorrow. I think I have a pretty idea what it is, where it is. But anyway, I'm gonna see y'all later. But thank you for hanging out and getting it done, and we'll frame it. And that's like give it to her. It's from everybody within the community. This way, she can have something teacuppy hanging up. So I love you all. Remember to be proud of being you because everyone else is taken. Keep crocheting that connection. No crochet hook is required. We have you covered. Thank you so much for having us covered. And just so you know, we're probably only about 95 hours away from 3,000. So I will see when 3,000 happens, whether or not what everybody else has been telling us that we have to wait till we get to 4,000 to get everything back on track or whether we'll get partial back at 3,000. I don't know yet. We're going to just see. We're going to see what happens. I'll be curious to see. At least I'll know and I can tell everybody else. So, anyway, love y'all. I'll see you later. Have a great night. Be kind and spread some love around, right? And you'll see us early in the morning. I can't guarantee you'll be totally with it at 7:30 in the morning, but you can just come check us out, see how with it I am. Hugs right back to all of you. I love you. Bye bye, everybody. Have a great night.